I made a lot of videos where I talked about the Air Force job selection process, but I never made a full video where I just solely talked about how we select your jobs in the Air Force. So in this video, I'm gonna do that and see how fast I can get it done. All right, so first things first, you want to maximize your Air Force qualifications as best as you can. Some of it you can control, some of it you can't control. Your ASVAB score, you can control that. You can study. I've actually made a video where I talked about my studying tips for the ASVAB. You can click on that when you're done with this video. Come back and watch it later. Next, you want to try to maximize your physical at MEPS. Now, there's some things you can control and there's other things you can't. Like if you don't have depth perception or if you don't have color vision or if your hearing's bad, there's really nothing you can do about that. But everything else in MEPS, you just want to do your best so you can maximize your job opportunities. Then you have your background, like your law violations, even your financial background. Those are really things you can't control. You're just gonna need a waiver, and even with that waiver, it's gonna disqualify you from certain jobs. Example, if you require a waiver, whether it's for your law violation background or your financial background, most likely you're not going to qualify for the jobs that require a top secret clearance. Hopefully you can find a recruiter that will work the waiver for you if you require one. Also, if your recruiter did a waiver for you, then they're kind of expecting you to fill some of those jobs that are hard to fill. So keep that in mind if you need a waiver. Last thing you want to do at MEPS is list the jobs that you're interested in. That kind of has a caveat on it because most recruiters, they won't let you just go to MEPS and start listing anything. For example, if you want to work in the medical field, most recruiters won't let you go to MEPS and just list 10 medical jobs. They might let you list like 1 or 2, but then they're going to make you list other jobs that are needed by the squadron. Keep in mind, any job that you list on your job preference list, that job can be booked. So make sure when you're listing your jobs, that's something that you want to do. And most squadrons are going to make you list at least 7 to 10 jobs. Some may even make you list 20 jobs. It just depends on the squadron and where you're located. So once you created that job list, the next thing you have to do is wait for your recruiter's leadership to find you a job. There's someone somewhere looking at all the jobs that the Air Force has, and they're determining which jobs need people and which jobs don't. Once they figure that out, they send the jobs that need people to your recruiter's leadership, and their job is to find those people to fill those jobs. So let's say your recruiter squadron has 6 security forces jobs to fill. What they're gonna do is look at everyone's job list who has security forces as their #1 option. If they only have 4 people who have security forces as their #1 option, all 4 of them most likely gonna get that job. So then they're gonna look at everybody else's list to see who has it listed as another preference. So let's say you had it listed as your #10 option, and the squadron's trying to fill this job, but nobody else has it listed anywhere except for you at your #10 option. The job is going to come to you. That's why you all need to talk to your recruiters and see what jobs are needed. If you list a bunch of jobs that aren't needed and you list one job that is needed, most likely you're going to get that one job that's needed. Once you get a job, every job comes with a date. So you will know your job and you will know the date you go to basic training at the same time. Getting a job can take anywhere from the day you went to MEPS to about 12 months. If you were booked a job right when you went to MEPS, then that means you made a really healthy job list and your recruiter's leadership needed that job filled immediately. If you're one of the ones who've been waiting on a job for like 8 to 12 months, then there could be a couple issues why this is happening. Number one, it could be that your recruiter is super successful and there's a bunch of people in line in front of you who are booking and it's not your turn yet. Number two, and this is probably the most common reason, is that you listed a bunch of jobs that are not bookable. What I would recommend if you're tired of waiting is to ask your recruiter to update your job list so you can list some bookable jobs. And the third reason why people may be waiting a long time is because they're just not that qualified. Like if your ASVAB score isn't that good or you had a bad physical, that's gonna narrow your choices. So because you have limitations on your jobs, you probably only qualify for the jobs that don't book that often, like administration, medical jobs, supply, or services. Now, if you wanna learn how to quick ship, I made a video discussing how to do that. And I also made a video answering the question, can you wait for a job that you want? You can watch that as well. Like I always say, I hope this video brought value to you. Stay beautiful, stay classy. Until next time, check me out.